This next part is going to be a little tricky, and that is this plate that's over here. So spacebar, command, zoom in. All right, now we're going to use the geometric tools, in this case the elliptical marquee. And I might need to zoom out just a taste. There we go. And if you recall, when we were playing with this in the earlier movie, is that it's a little weird with the origin point being at the upper left-hand corner of our shape. Very strange. So we can do a lot of trial and error. And it's like, okay, I need to start a little bit closer. So let me try here. And maybe try a little bit higher now. That's pretty close. Now I'm going to stop here and pretend that kind of works. Okay, one thing I haven't talked about is that I can move my marching ants around without having to actually move the actual pixels of this plate. Okay, so for instance, let me just demonstrate. So the move tool actually moves the stuff that's in the selection. Undo. Okay, but if I use a marching ant based tool like this, I can actually move the marching ants around. So I can probably see if I can fit that a little bit closer. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. And by the way, I can also use my arrow keys. And it's moving one pixel at a time. Okay? The other way to do this is if I hold the Shift key and then hit the arrow keys, it moves 10 pixels at a time. So you can get fairly close using the Shift arrow. And then once you get into a certain zone, it's like, okay, now I can dial this in using my arrow keys and do it that way. Now, this is an okay selection, not bad at all. Let's try another method. I'm going to deselect my marching ants. Okay, now what we could do is start our ellipse from the center. Okay, so I'm going to presume that's roughly center right over here. Again, this is still subject to some trial and error. So I'm starting where I think is center. Now look, here's my marching ants going down right. Remember the trick? Holding down the Option key, that changes the center. Okay, and now I'm pretty close. I think I need to move a little down and to the left a little bit. Yeah. Okay, so I'm pretty close. Now I could just take what I've got here and again kind of move this around, and actually that's pretty good too. I might just go with that. It might be a little bit big. Take a look down here. Yep, it's selecting stuff just outside. Let me move my arrows. I'll move my arrow up just a little bit so it captures that business. Let's look at the top edge of this selection, and it's off the reservation. So I'm going to try this again. Zoom in. Okay, let's try this one more time. So I'll deselect my marching ants. I'm going to start a little bit lower and to the left of where I think I was last time. And again, hold down Option. And how does this look? I think I've gone too far to the left. Not bad though. I'm going to go with that. See if I can dial this in. That's looking pretty good. I'm going to go with that. Now, notice that I will be cutting off the outside perimeter of this plate. I'm okay with that. As long as I have the majority here, I'd rather have that cut off some of the perimeter of the plate than have too big of a selection and actually include some white stuff from the outside. Okay, so we will zoom out a little bit, Command minus. Use my move tool to move this guy up here. And we're almost done. We've got one more thing.